And
Oh, I'm sorry. Ask this question. A follow-up to the data centers. What is the ultimate purpose of the data centers?
What is the ultimate purpose of the data center? It says the ultimate purpose of a data center is to securely and efficiently house the computing, storage, and networking infrastructure needed to run, process, and distribute the digital world.
You got to ask the right questions.
They have a show on Netflix.
Lighten up. Looks like the atom bomb.
Okay.
It literally like the roller onion. It's still lit. Did a plane crash maybe? I don't know.
No, it wouldn't have been a plane crash.
It shot more fire than I've ever seen in my life.
Okay.
That is just one of dozens of 911 calls that were made last night after Blue Origin's New Glenn rocket exploded on the pad.
Orlando's only news chopper showing you what's left behind. A launch pad destroyed, heaps of metal on the ground.
But this is what that launch pad looked like right after 9 o'clock last night. Flames glowing in the dark after the New Glenn rocket experienced what Blue Origin calls an anomaly. And it's something that viewers saw all across Central Florida. And if you didn't see it in person, you probably saw videos just like the ones behind us on social media.
Yeah, the explosion could have lasting impacts on the space industry. We have live team coverage across the Space Coast today. Let's get right out to West Shoe's Stuart Moore at the Kennedy Space Center. Stu.
And Jesse and Lindsay, we haven't seen something like this from Cape Canaveral in roughly 10 or so years. What started as a standard test going ahead of this rocket launch for the private company Blue Origin ended with that massive explosion that we all saw last night. Just around 9 o'clock at the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, the New Glenn rocket was doing an engine fire test. The rocket was unmanned and did not have its satellite payload on board. Officials say everyone is accounted for and no one was hurt. But this is what investigators have to work with: a field of rocket parts and charred debris. It's not clear exactly what caused the explosion that lit up Central Florida, but what we do know is it could take a while before they get to the bottom of it. West News' Greg Fox continues our team coverage. And Greg, tell us exactly what we know at this point and what we don't.
I want you to imagine for a second that you're one of the richest, most connected men on earth. You help build PayPal, you help build Palantir, you help bankroll political candidates like Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. You move in circles most Americans will never get within 50 miles of. You have access to information, the connections, the networks, people. And then one day, you start spending a little bit more time outside the U.S. You start positioning your assets overseas. You start sending your children to another country, setting up shop there. Mr. Thiel, president and ministers, purchased a mansion in one of Buenos Aires' most exclusive neighborhoods and hosted a dinner with local economists where he discussed the Antichrist. Peter Thiel, none other. He's decoupling to the end of the world. Temporarily relocated his family to Argentina and enrolled his children in school. He's looking for permanent residence and citizenship. Again, talking about the Antichrist as well. You start discussing end of civilization scenarios. And at the exact same time, AI is beginning to replace jobs. Massive AI data centers start appearing everywhere. The government also begins monitoring threats against AI infrastructure, calling people that talk about AI in a negative way extremists. They even have now a whole team within the Department of Justice looking into people that are negatively talking about AI, right? The people building the future are increasingly looking like they're preparing to survive it. Now, maybe all of that's just a coincidence. Maybe Peter Thiel just likes Argentinian steak. Maybe. But if that's true, I got a bridge to sell you guys. You may ask, who the hell is Peter Thiel? Well, most people know who Taylor Swift is. Most people know who Kim Kardashian is. Most people know what some idiot on TikTok had for breakfast, but the people who actually influence the world, most Americans couldn't even pick them out of a lineup. Peter Thiel is one of those people, and that should concern you. This isn't some actor. This isn't just some celebrity. This isn't some blue-haired activist screaming into a webcam while living off mommy's Netflix account. Peter Thiel helped create PayPal along with Elon Musk. Then he became one of Facebook's earliest investors, and then he helped build Palantir. And you notice here, Peter Thiel's relocated his family due to concerns about the U.S. to Argentina. Right? Now, if you haven't heard about Palantir, imagine a company sitting at the intersection of intelligence agencies, government contracts, military operations, artificial intelligence, surveillance, and massive amounts of data. I'm talking 1984. Okay. George Orwell. In other words, this ain't exactly Candy Crush. This guy has spent decades operating near the nerve center of technology and power. And guess what? He was also heavily involved with Jeppy Epi. It shouldn't surprise you. All the powerful people are. Very good friends with him. Took trips with him. Met Yuhad Barak. They set up a meeting for there, and then shouldn't come to anybody's surprise that Palantir is heavily involved in our chosen ally. Now, again, going back to Argentina, right? Stuff circulating that Thiel fled America to Argentina because of impending collapse. Meeting with political leaders, building relationships, positioning himself there. Look, and before people start screaming, look, people vacation. Yes, people vacation. Rich people buy houses. Rich people travel. Rich people drink wine and wear loafers without socks. I get that. But that's not the story. The story is the pattern, because Peter Thiel isn't the only billionaire building a contingency plan. All of them are. For years, we've seen stories, I've done videos on it, them buying remote property, building compounds, creating escape plans, seeking secondary citizenships. And you may say, why would they need a secondary citizenship? Well, in an American collapse scenario, where an American passport is no good because everybody's trying to flee America and other countries will not accept you, that is one of those reasons, okay? Building shelters, they're preparing for instability, right? Now, my favorite part about all of this is the same people who spent 20 years telling you everything was under control are spending millions of dollars preparing for things that supposedly can't happen. Interesting, very interesting, okay? And this is where, obviously it gets weird, because most people think preppers look like us. Guys with a truck, some food storage, maybe a generator, man, a little land, a rifle, water filter, a dog that hates strangers, normal people. But the reality is some of the biggest preppers on earth are billionaires. The difference is their bug out bag costs $40 million. While you're trying to save up enough money to buy a used side-by-side, they're buying countries. Think about that. You're clipping coupons. They're collecting contingency plans. You're saving emergency cash. They're buying entire compounds. They're hiring former military soldiers for security. And they're all doing it for a reason. The question is, why now, and what is the reason? They're doing it right now, and there's a big reason for it. Peter Thiel, having probably right now, currently, being the most connected man in America. He bankrolled Donald Trump for this presidency in the amounts of $250 million. He brought J.D. Vance from being some guy that had a different name before he changed it to J.D. Vance, before he became an author. He bankrolled some nobody into becoming the vice president. So you have to imagine a guy with this amount of control, this amount of power, this amount of connections to the entire world, where his system, Palantir, is used throughout all, is deciding now, I need to get me and my family outside of America right now.
All right, this is Amos chapter 9 and verse 1. It reads, I saw the Lord standing upon the altar, and he said, smite the lintel of the door, that the posts may shake, and cut them in the head of all of them. And I will slay the last of them with the sword. And I will slay the last of them with the sword. He that fleeth of them shall not flee away, and he that escapeth of them shall not be delivered. Though they dig into hell, then shall mine hand take them. Though they climb up to heaven, thence will I bring them down. And though they hide themselves in the top of Carmel, I will search and take them out thence. And though they be hid from my sight in the bottom of the sea, thence will I command the serpent, and he shall bite them. And though they go into captivity before their enemies, thence will I command the sword, and it shall slay them. And I will and I will set mine eyes upon them for evil and not for good. All right, Shalom Akim. Kol Haloyim La Allah Hayanawa Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai Bahashim Racha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, whom I've grown in this truth under. Shalom to the Akim out there that's pushing the truth, that's laboring in the word, and that's pushing the gospel of the great kingdom that's soon to come. Shalom to the Akwath that's listening in, that's remaining true to the faith and remaining faithful and submissive to their husbands and guiding their children. And shalom to the hopeful elect of the 12 tribes that scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. To you Israelite foreigners out there who live among the heathen and who look like those heathen nations. But your lineage goes back to the progenitors of the 12 tribes in the nation of Israel through the line of your fathers. I want to say peace and blessings to you all. Barakatah. Shabbat shalom to you all. This is your brother, man, Zakaria Allah. You know what I'm saying? Got to come with another heavy lesson. All right. What are these jokers planning for? All right. What are they planning for? And you know what that is. All right. Because as we've seen Jeff Bezos, all right, paying for this massive rocket, all right, and it just explodes during an engine test. This is coming about a week after SpaceX had their rocket, you know what I'm saying, just explode upon landing. Okay? These devils are they're attempting to leave. They're trying to leave. See what I'm saying? They're trying to escape. And they're not escaping. See what I'm saying? There is no getting out of this, man. All right, you set something in motion that you can't turn back. You see what I'm saying? The Lord said that the deceived and the deceiver are his. So you're stuck in this conundrum between the rock and the hard place. Job chapter 12 verse 16. With him is strength and wisdom. The deceived and the deceiver are his. This is Job chapter 21. Let's go to verse 29. It says, have ye not asked them that go by the way, and do ye not know their tokens? That the wicked is reserved to the day of destruction? They shall be brought forth to the day of wrath. Who shall declare his way to his face? And who shall repay him for what he hath done? You see? And it's the men of the Lord, the prophets, beginning with the apostles, bishops, and elders, on down the great millstone, and the men of the likewise doctrine, who are reproving this devil, all right, who are declaring to these men's face. We're the ones who's declaring it through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, and it will be Yahushai who will come back to repay them for what they've done, man. You see, you don't get to just destroy you don't get to just destroy the planet like this. You know what I'm saying? Break the everlasting covenant. Okay, transgress the laws and the ordinances. You don't get to just do all of that and then ride off into the sunset, into the stars. You don't get to do that, man. You see what I'm saying? You don't get to dig yourselves into the pit, you know what I'm saying? Into the mountains, all right? Or underneath the oceans to try and escape your fate, your destiny, your punishment, your recompense. You see what I'm saying? You don't get to just do that. All of this technology, all right, is going to turn on them. And they know that. They know that. That's why Peter Thiel is doing the things he's doing, all right, making the moves that he's making. Sam Altman, all right, Elon Musk, all of them. All of them. Because they know damn well, all right, that this place is over. All right? The party's over. No more games. Okay? The things that you've been doing in the dark, they're coming out in the light. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff with Jeffrey, all these things going on with you know, the corruption everywhere. Everyone knows about you now. Let's go to Jeremiah. All right, this is Jeremiah chapter 49 and verse 10. It says, "But I have made Esau bare, and I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren, and his neighbors, and he is not." You see what I'm saying? What is he trying to run away from? He's trying to run away from the cup that he's going to have to drink of. He's running away from the destruction that is set for him. Verse 12, "For thus saith the Lord, Behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken. And art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. For I have sworn by myself, saith the Lord Yahweh, that Basra shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be a perpetual waste. I have heard a rumor from the Lord Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent unto the heathen, saying, Gather ye together, and come against her, and rise up to the battle. See what I'm saying? For lo, I will make thee small among the heathen and despised among men. This is the judgment that Cain was running away from. That fugitive and that vagabond. You see what I'm saying? He said, if they find me, they'll slay me. They'll seek to slay me. All right? And Cain has been found out, as he has come back in the reincarnation as Esau Edom. You see? Cain didn't survive this the flood. All right? Cain and his descendants did not survive the flood. But they came back in the reincarnation as the son of Isaac, being Esau. And the same mind that that Cain had towards Abel, Esau has towards Jacob. And so in his mind, he has created the perfect weapon. He's perfecting that weapon. He's creating the infrastructure for that perfect weapon. And I showed in the video, all right, in the clip from the elder apostles, they asked Bishop Sakaran to look up the significance, the importance of these data centers, which they revealed in that live camp, that these data centers are being built all around the world, not just in America, guzzling up hundreds of millions of gallons of water per month. You know what I'm saying? This ain't the only place that they're building them. You see? And so the significance of these data centers is to consolidate all this information, to have this perfect weapon and this perfect surveillance system or this surveillance state be functional for this digital world that they want. You see what I'm saying? But mark my words, they don't want to be a part of it. They want you to be a part of it. Why are they trying to escape? Because they don't want to be a part of that judgment. They don't want to be a part of the chaos that is going to bring, that they know is going to bring. You see what I'm saying? And just as the other man in the video, all right, that I shared, this is going into George Orwell, all right, George Orwell, 1984, all right, where it was that great surveillance state built upon artificial intelligence, controlling your minds, controlling what you think and what you say, what you do. You see what I'm saying? These elites know that this type of technology that's built upon the left-hand side, okay, functioned by these left-handed angels, okay, they know that they don't want to be subject unto that. While everybody's eating fake food, fake meat, they're the ones who will be eating the real meat, enjoying the steak and enjoying the cows and the chickens and all that stuff, the real plants, the real herbs, the real blessings of the earth, man. All right. As the scriptures say, let's go back to Job. This is Job chapter 9, verse 24. It says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? You see what I'm saying? As the gentleman had pointed out, everyone knows who Kim Kardashian is, who the Kardashians are, who Taylor Swift is. They can tell you who they are in a heartbeat, but they can't tell you who the names of these movers and shakers of this world. You see what I'm saying? They can't go into that. You see? So the question is, where and who are they? Okay? If not, where and who is he? And this is the son of perdition, as was written in the book of 2 Thessalonians, chapter 2. This is that son of perdition, these Edomites. Let's go to Job chapter 31, verse 3. All right. Job chapter 31 and verse 3, it says, is not destruction to the wicked and a strange punishment to the workers of iniquity? You see, does not he see my does not he see my ways and count all my steps? All right. So the Lord sees these things, man. And they think that they can escape this punishment. All right? But there is no peace to the wicked, man. Let's go to let's go to Jeremiah chapter 21. Salaki, Ezekiel chapter 21. Bear with me. Ezekiel chapter 21 and verse 8. It reads again, the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy and say, Thus saith Yahweh, say a sword is sharpened and is first and also furbished. It is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth? It contendeth the rod of my son as every tree, and he hath given it to be furbished that it may be handled. This sword is sharpened, then it is furbished, to give it into the hand of the slayer. See? And these Edomites are about to use that sword. And they're moving themselves out of the way so that the sword doesn't come back on them. You know what I'm saying? But there's no escaping the inevitable, man. Right? This is Joel chapter 1 and verse 15. It says, Alas, for the day of the Lord is at hand, and as a destruction from the Almighty shall it come. You see what I'm saying? And we were sent here to send the warning and to blow the trumpet, man, as is written in the 2nd chapter. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand. A day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness. As the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong, there hath not been ever the like, neither shall there be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. You see what I'm saying? When you hear people like Yuval Noah Harari, all right, and they're saying that they have technology that is to the point where they have surpassed all the tyrants of old. So when they finally get this thing underway, all right, they plan on having total control, complete control. All right, control in its perfection, you know what I'm saying, on the left-hand side, man, but they won't be able to receive that. All right, they won't be able to acquire it or achieve it. You see? So there's nowhere to hide from this. All right? Their judgment is coming for them. So I'm going to cut that there. I pray this lesson was edifying to the elect of the nation of Israel. This has been your brother Zakaria Allah, branched out here in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. In closing, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Ruchak, Wadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and who teach well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Shalom.